It is Indiana in the Morning, presented as always by First Commonwealth Bank here on AM 1160 WCCS and 101.1 FM. And let us meet the newest inductee into the Indiana County Aging Services Senior Hall of Fame. He's Larry Buterbaugh. Good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
Oh, it's good to have you with us here this morning.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow. You take a look at Larry and his long career of service here in Indiana County. And Jim McCowan is with us from Aging Services as well. Jim, you brought us a gentleman here who has his hand in a lot of things.
Yeah, his wife told me over the phone recently that he's so involved with nonprofits that they have a friend apparently who's a lawyer who offered to make her a nonprofit so he would spend a little more time with her. That's a true story.
It sounds like Carol's pretty on top of things here, Larry.
Well, she is, and Carol's probably every bit as involved in the community and outside the community as I am. She's younger than I am, though, so she's not eligible for this award.
Oh, there you go.
Not yet.
Married 44 years.
44 years.
Yeah, and you retired from Pennsylvania American.
Correct. Actually, 11 years ago.
Wow.
I was just a baby when I retired.
I can see that. An outdoorsman.
I am.
You enjoy kayaking and hunting and fishing, getting out on the waters and in the woods, huh?
I do. It gets a little tougher each year with the effects of aging, but I still love it.
Yeah. And you do a lot of traveling.
We do a fair amount of traveling. In fact, we're leaving next Friday for a beach trip, our annual beach trip.
Yeah.
And then we have another trip planned in late September for Smoky Mountain National Park. But we do a lot of traveling here within a day's drive.
Yeah.
We try and get out at least one day a week and have some fun.
What's the go-to beach?
Well, right now it's Surf City on Topsail Island, which is kind of between the southern tip of the Outer Banks and Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah.
Its nickname is Mayberry by the Sea. It's a kickback area, not a whole lot of development other than rental properties.
Yeah. Larry Buterbaugh is our guest, 66 years of age, and he is the newest member of the Aging Services Senior Hall of Fame. A lot of volunteer efforts, community involvement all around. I'm interested in one of them, the Angel Wings program. What is that?
Well, Angel Wings is a program that's only several weeks old. It's sponsored by ICAP and the Indiana Gazette. It's a program to get gifts into the hands of young children whose parents don't have the financial means to do so. We've worked with that program since its inception. Prior to that, we worked with Angel Tree, which was a Salvation Army Indiana Gazette program. Later, the name was changed to Treasures for Children. But we're now devoting our efforts to the new program.
Yeah. Also a part of the Indiana County Circle Initiative.
Well, right. That's a program that began back in the late 90s, designed to help families who were living at or below the minimum income levels, help them get back on their feet and get turned around. The process involves a lot of education for those folks. They met weekly at the church I belong to. Eventually, once they completed about a year's worth of this training, they were matched with a mentor from the community. And I got to serve in that function, and as a result of that, Carol and I have ended up with a couple daughters that we never had.
Oh, there you go. And you mentioned your faith, your church. It's Trinity United Methodist.
It is Trinity United Methodist.
Good church.
It is a good church.
Yeah.
Small by comparison to our sister church, Grace, but a very active church. And most of the projects I've worked on since I've retired are actually connected through Trinity. And they're all pretty much faith-based projects.
Yeah, and things like Family Promise.
Family Promise is an amazing program. I had the privilege probably about 6 years ago to traveling with some folks as we looked at other counties that were hosting the program. It's designed for families that are actually homeless.
Yeah.
Churches in the community take turns providing shelter for them and preparing meals for them. They in turn go through, the families go through a lot of training as well. And the idea is to get them turned around back on their feet and for them to become self-sufficient again.
And looking down through the list of those sorts of ministry activities, I see one that we had Jim, you can comment on this. We had a previous inductee involved with Ramps for Hope, and I'm sure, Larry, you know who that gentleman was. Ramps for Hope is one of the more innovative ministry efforts that I've seen.
It's a new program put together by the Indiana District of the United Methodist Church here in western Pennsylvania. Program's about 6 years old. It's a project. A lot of people are actually in need of handicapped access to and from their homes. It's a program designed to help those that don't have the financial means to hire a contractor to build access, primarily ramps.
Yeah.
I just came off a project Tuesday in the Indiana area. Great project. The ramp was about 36 feet long. We had 10 guys on the job, and we got it completed in about 5 hours. We kind of joked Tuesday that had this been 6 years previous, it probably would have taken us 2 days to do that job, but we've developed a lot of proficiency.
One of the interesting things about it is I've really only touched here and there on this extensive list of activities in front of me. And there are many more that we can talk about, but it really boils down to what gives you the motivation to serve others in this way, in so many different ways.
It all turns back to about 20 years ago when I had walked away from my faith for 27 years. I was experiencing some tremendous medical issues. When I finally sought traditional care, medications worked, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. So that led to a return to my faith, and pretty much everything that I participate in now is based upon that faith. In the New Testament, James says that faith without deeds is essentially worthless. Mm-hmm. So I don't do this for any it is a self-gratifying thing to some extent, but I don't do it for the publicity. In fact, I was very reluctant to accept this award. I was approached by a lady in my church who I know has been very active with aging services. I also know Jim, and he kind of did the final strong arm on me. So I'm not doing this for personal publicity. I'm doing it to explain to people who are in retirement or thinking about retirement, there is life after a career.
Yeah, yeah. And after any type of life that you've led, you can go in new directions. You can further the direction in which you've been going.
Right.
You can find all kinds of different interests. And it's interesting, and you obviously has discovered this, you can find all kinds of people who need your help and your particular specific skills.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And you don't have to look too far.
No.
Sometimes it's as close as next door.
Yeah. I mean, there's Habitat for Humanity. At the church, you're a lay leader, a Sunday school teacher. You're on their Finance and Mission Committee. You're a member of the Indiana Lions Club, and there's another organization that
I'm a former member of the Indiana Lions Club.
Uh-huh.
I stepped away because of time due to my career 20 years ago, actually. Mm-hmm. But I was an active member of the Indiana Lions Club.
Yeah, yeah. And the elk habitat aspect of your story is kind of interesting to me as well. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and the Elk County Alliance. Tell me about that.
I originally got involved with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation probably 25 years ago. I think one of the most majestic animals that I have ever seen is an elk. The males, the bulls bugling in the fall are just one of the greatest sounds in nature. The objective is to promote elk habitat and conservation. There was a new organization formed about 10 years ago. That was the Keystone Elk Country Alliance. And in conjunction with the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, they have taken over a site on Winslow Hill built a beautiful educational center there, and there are absolutely tens of thousands of people every year coming into that facility to learn about elk, to see elk. It's a tremendous project.
Yeah, wow. I would imagine you, and like all of us, are concerned when things like chronic wasting disease was just found in Clearfield County with the elk herd and the deer herd, and
Absolutely.
Certainly everybody's watching that,
Right.
Trying to do everything they can to conserve the elk herd, the deer herd in Pennsylvania. Jim McCowan, what a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known Larry a long time. I always get a kick out of when a nomination of someone that I know shows up in front of me. And he hit it right on the head just a few minutes ago. The whole point of this program, and like I told Larry and others, we kind of use you a little bit here. We use you to remind younger people, and not just younger people, but older people as well, that there's a whole range of opportunities available after you might be of retirement age. And you might have some time to do some things. Why not do some really nice things?
Sure.
And why not do some things that help people in the community and make those kind of contributions? It's a nice feeling.
Yeah. Well, the rocking chair is a wonderful place to be, but you can't stay there the whole rest of your life.
It's
can you?
never been part of my plan.
Carol, on the other hand, she's sitting there saying, Larry, where are you now? Well, thank you so much for coming in to spend some time with us. Congratulations on this honor, which is exactly what Jim described, a way to inspire others. And certainly through the many efforts that we've touched on here today, you show that and you prove that. We appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here. I'm not here tooting my horn. I'm probably tooting volunteer possibilities more than anything. I want to thank Jim and Vice Sesty from my church who placed my name in front of him. This has been an enjoyable experience here today.
I'm certainly glad that you were able to come and visit with us. Jim, thank you so much. Folks want to get involved. They want to nominate somebody like Larry or somebody else that they know.
A lot of opportunities. They can do it online if they're a little more tech savvy than you and I. Well, right through the Render Broadcasting's websites, or you can just call our office at 724-349-4500. Happy to send out a nomination form. And, of course, we want to express once again our appreciation to the Ruskini Agency in town who helps us with this program.
Very good. It's Indiana in the Morning.